Ninja Man wants a big up. Muta standing by for the cutting edge, you know. So
go on,
minutes over.
Of course, Muta want to big up them people, yeah.
Yeah.
Big up Skeleton Time, tomatoes and pepper. I got better season food and cook good.
Mutabaruka is up next with the cutting edge.
IRFM wishes to advise that the views expressed on the cutting edge are not necessarily those of the company.
Listening to your radio, cutting edges on your stereo, yeah. Mutabaruka leads the way, so let the station play, yeah. Say you teach, got to hold on me, yeah. Well, this is Kimani and you're listening to, you know, Mutabaruka. IRFM. Cutting edge. Whoa.
Teach these truths to your children. Teach your children that they need nothing exterior to themselves to be happy. No person, place, or thing, and that true happiness is found within. Teach them that they are sufficient unto themselves. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that failure is a fiction, that every trying is a success, and that every effort is what achieves the victory. The first, no less honorable than the last. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that they are deeply connected to all of life, that they are one with all people, and that they are never separate from God. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that they live in a world of magnificent abundance, that there is enough for everyone, and that it is. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that there is nothing that they are required to be or to do to be eligible for a life of dignity and fulfillment, that they need not compete with anyone for anything, and that to be eligible for a life of dignity and fulfillment, that they need not compete with anyone for anything, and that God's blessings are meant for everyone. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly.
Teach your children that they will never be judged, that they need not worry about always getting it right, and that they do not have to change anything or get better to be seen as perfect and beautiful in the eyes of God. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that consequences and punishment are not the same thing, that death does not exist, and that God would never condemn anyone. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that there are no conditions to love, that they need not worry about ever losing your love or God's, and that their own love, unconditionally shared, is the greatest gift they can give to the world. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that being special does not mean being better, that claiming superiority over someone is not seeing them for who they really are, and that there is great healing in acknowledging mine is not a better way, mine is merely another way. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach your children that there is nothing they cannot do, that the illusion of ignorance can be eradicated from the earth, and that all anyone really needs is to be given back to themselves by being reminded of who they really are. Teach them this, and you will have taught them grandly. Teach these things not with your words, but with your actions, not with discussion, but with demonstration. For it is not what you do that your children will emulate, but how you are that they will become.
thought-provoking, always smoking, lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
This is the Cutting Edge on RFM with you. And next Wednesday, you know, the years past, we come in a thing of the past. Right, so much things happening that year, it's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Just quite a few days leave for this year done and we start the next year. Nobody who is on earth will ever see a next 2014. Can you believe that? There's so much billions of people there on the earth. You will never have a next 2014. So guess what you have to do now? Make the use of it, you know. Make the use of it because you're not going to see no more right again.
You are listening to Mutabaruka.
To Mutabaruka.
Habillé de paille pour rien. Les enfants crient de bonheur et ils répandent de la terreur. Conquistade et bombardement. C'est de leur âge et de leur temps. J'ai tout oublié du bonheur. Il neige sur leur majeur. J'ai tout oublié du bonheur. Il neige sur leur majeur. Voilà de nouveaux gladiateurs. Et on dit que le cirque mort. Et le beau sang italien coule beaucoup et pour rien. Il neige sur la majeur. Les oiseaux libres sont en pleurs.
You are listening to Mutabaruka.
Comme un moteur, c'est le bateau de 5 heures. J'ai tout oublié du bonheur. Il neige sur leur majeur. J'ai tout oublié du bonheur.
thought-provoking, always smoking, lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
When I look at Africa, many questions come to mind. Many times I ask myself, what would happen if Mwalimu were to rise up and see what is happening? Many times I ask myself, what would happen if Kwame Nkrumah and Patrice Emery Lumumba were to rise up and see what is happening? Because what they would be confronted with is an Africa where the Democratic Republic of Congo is unsettled. There is a war going on there, but it is not on the front pages of our newspapers, because we don't even control our newspapers and the media. As I speak to you, the Central African Republic is at war, but we talk of it only mutedly. As I speak to you now, in South Sudan, the youngest nation in Africa, the Nuer have risen against the Dinka. As I speak to you now, Eritrea is unsettled. As I speak to you now, there is an ease in Egypt as there is an ease in Libya. In Niger it is no better. In Senegal, in the Casamance is no better. In Somalia is no better. Africa is at war with herself. This is what they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with an Africa which statistician and romantic economists say is growing, but which in truth is stagnated. That is the Africa that they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with an African which, as Professor Mlama intimated in our presentation here, is an African which is suffering from schizophrenia. He does not know herself. They would be confronted with an African whose young men and women have no interest and low love for their continent. They would be confronted with an Africa where young men and young women are constantly humiliated at the embassies of European countries and at the United States of America as they seek the almighty green card. They would be confronted with an Africa where young men and women from Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Mali, and Mauritania drown in the Mediterranean as they seek to be enslaved in Europe. This time round, Africans are not wailing and kicking as they are being taken away to be enslaved. They are being seen wailing and kicking as they seek to be enslaved in Europe and America. This is the tragedy of Africa. They'll be confronted with an African where people have lost their self-pride. An Africa where Africans are not proud of their things. An Africa where in the hotels of Dar es Salaam or Nairobi, even food has foreign names. When we fry potatoes, we call them French fries, even when they are fried in Dar es Salaam. That is the Africa that they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with another Africa. An Africa which does not tell her story. An Africa whose story is told by Europe and America, the CNN, Radio Deutsche Welle, Radio France. That is the Africa they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with the young men and women who have no pride in Africa. When they want to enjoy themselves, they sing the praises of football teams from Europe and America. It is Manchester United. It is Arsenal. It is Real Madrid. And Barcelona, not Yanga, not Mufulira Wanderers, not Gor Mahia, not FC Leopards. No. That is the Africa that they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with an Africa which does not enjoy its theater and drama. That Africa celebrates Leonardo DiCaprio. It celebrates Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. The Africa does not celebrate Genevieve Naji of Nigeria, or Rita Dominic, or Lou Jacobs of Nigeria. It does not celebrate Bongowood or Nollywood or Riverwood. It celebrates Hollywood. That is the Africa with which they would be confronted. They would be confronted with African women whose greatest source of joy is cheap grade B Mexican soap opera, La Patrona, La Mujer de mi Vida, The Rich Also Cry. Why must we remind ourselves of these realities? Because throughout the ages, the battle has always been the battle of the mind. And if your mind is conquered, then you are going nowhere. And that is why in the ages of enlightenment in Europe, the great René Descartes said, cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. And therefore, if Africans are to begin to make a contribution in their affairs, Africans must begin to think. But the question is, are we thinking? We have universities in their numbers. Tanzania has universities including Dar es Salaam. Nairobi has universities, as indeed Kampala, as indeed South Africa, Johannesburg. We have all these universities. We have engineers. But our roads are not being made by Tanzanian civil engineers. It is the Chinese who are present in this assembly who are making our roads. So we have engineers who cannot even make roads. We have doctors whom we have trained. But when we are sick, particularly if we are of the political class, depending on who colonized you, if you are colonized by the United Kingdom, you rush to London. If you are colonized by the French, you rush to Paris. If you are colonized by the Portuguese, you rush to Lisbon. And if you are colonized by the Spaniards, you rush to Madrid, Spain. And recently, because the Asians are beginning to get their act together, we run to India. And very lately, because the Arabs are also beginning to get their act together, we run to Dubai. Notwithstanding that we have the Kenyatta hostels of this country, the Muhimbilis of Tanzania, the Chris Hani Baragwanaths of South Africa, and the Mama Yemos of Kinshasa in Zaire or the Democratic Republic of Congo, but we have no faith in our doctors. In the area of education, we also don't have faith. Our political class introduced something that they call free education, but it's free indeed, free of knowledge. Because they are so suspicious of those institutions that the typical African politician would not dare take their children to those schools. Their children will be educated in the British system, in the American system, so that when they graduate, they go to the United Kingdom, to the United States. Not that there is anything wrong with those institutions, but the agenda is wrong because our leaders long lost the script and ought to be described for who they are, our misleaders. But we are co-authors of our own misfortune. Whenever we are given an opportunity to elect our leaders, we are given a blank check. And if you permit me a little latitude, and if you give me a blank check, and you allow me to analogize, and you say that I'm given the blank check to buy a Mercedes-Benz, what we do is that when we are called upon, having been so empowered, we buy what one calls a tuk-tuk from India and expect it to behave like a Mercedes-Benz. How does that happen? Because what we do is to elect thieves. We elect hyenas to take care of goats, and when the goats are consumed, we wonder why.
REFM, thought-provoking, always smoking, lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
Donc nous-mêmes tout ici nous n'avons pas connu les difficultés, non? Donc nous-mêmes ici semblant que les choses deviennent mieux, non? Il n'y a qu'à penser, 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 à brouo, il n'y a qu'à penser, à brouo.
You my friends. Yeah. Sometimes it's true, we have some worries. But you know, now it's time for change. And the only thing we got to do is we got to think positive.
We got to think positive. We got to think positive. We got to think positive. We got to think positive. We got to think positive. We got to think positive. Fula ini wote.
Mama. This is the Cutting Edge on IRFM. Make no mistake about that. This is one program where you don't have to figure out if you're on the right radio station. Trust me. From your ear where I go on, you know, say, a Cutting Edge I go on.
was all that mattered to me. Now you don't seem to want to be here with me. The way I be seem to dread to be without you. Now you don't tell me that you care about me. The way you used to tell me how much you care.
Yes. Senegalese music. Banana. The question is, how did they get us? Millions of people, including their own people. How did they get us to take part in one of the biggest lies that has ever been told to human beings? That there was a man named Jesus Christ born on the 25th of December. How did they get us to believe that and perpetuate it in our lives, inculcate it in our lives and live it out as if there was some truth about it? Now, if the most important day in the Christian calendar is a lie, and there is no doubt about that, nobody in the clergy, in the hierarchy of the church, believe that Jesus Christ born on the 25th of December. And we know that everything that represents Christmas originates in Europe. There's nothing about Christmas that originate anywhere else. You have 7 continents in the world. 7 continents. Asia the largest continent. Africa the second largest. And you have one named Antarctica. And you have one that is also an island, which is also a continent named Australia. No one believe in the hierarchy of Christianity. No one believe that Jesus Christ born on the 25th of December. Yet, they have millions of people celebrating a lie and going about their economical business with a lie hanging over them head. How did they get us to do that? And if the 25th of December is a lie and they know it, what else? What else have they taught us and told us in history that is also a lie? Because there's nothing in Christmas that represents anywhere else but Europe. Out of the 7 continents, one continent give us everything that we believe and accept as Christmas. Everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. All the symbols, all the songs that we regurgitate, that black people stand up in Christmas time and sing. All the identifications of this day that they call Christmas represent white supremacy coming out of Europe. How did they get us to accept it as a real thing? How did they get us to subliminally accept it to the point where we don't even think about it again, we don't even think upon the reality and the consequences of such a holiday in our life? That we now trying to change it because they realize that it's a lie. They are trying to change it now. Trying to tell you that, well, you know, it's a good time for family to get together. And it's a good time to give gifts and presents and tell the ones you love, you know, you love them. And that is the lie that you keep repeating and become truth. Because they know that if you keep repeating the lie, it will become true. And so far, for hundreds of years, we have seen that this lie has taken over the Western world. And I say the Western world because there's a lot of places that don't celebrate Christmas. It might look strange to it. It might look weird and funny. Because we're living in the Western world. We believe that the whole world has celebrate Christmas. But that is not true. The whole world don't celebrate Christmas. But how did they get us to do that? Just think about it for a little while. Just think about it. People out there now might, I say, when Musa say about Jesus not born on the 25th of December, but if you don't believe me, go and ask your clergy, go and ask your parson, go and ask a theologian, and hear if them don't say the same thing when me I say. Go and ask a 7th Day, go and ask a Jehovah's Witness, go and ask Ian Bowen. How did they get us to accept a lie? How did they get us to live the lie like it's our lie? I mean, it's one thing to create a lie and you live the lie. But it's one thing to create a lie and make millions of people live it out as it is true. Or behave like it is true. It's a real, it's a serious thing. That is why I can't trust nothing with them right down, you know. I tell me, I have to question everything. Question authority is the name of the game. You have to question everything. The reason why you have to question everything is because they created a day, and it's the most religious holiday for the Christian world. And this day that they created, the most religious holiday in the Christian world, is a lie. And them know it's a lie. But them continue the lie, making it become true, and make generations of people live it out. And black people continue the lie even more than them. Because now them not saying Happy Christmas again, them say Happy Holidays. You know, nobody walking around. It's Uncle Arcade people now still talking about Merry Christmas. You hear them say, have a happy holiday. So they are trying to say now they have created an holiday for you that is now exempting the Christmas that they placed in it. Because people is waking up to the realization that no goes so. It's only a few little man, what we call the ignorant majority. Because you have an ignorant majority out there who actually believe that there was a man named Jesus Christ born on the 25th of December as how they was brought up to believe. A lot of people can't get that out of them head. And the things them that go with it to have nothing to do with no man we lived 2,000 years ago. The little frills and chills and quills where them put round it to have nothing to do with no man we born 2,000 years ago. Sorry for broken heart. Santa Claus deck the halls with hollies, Christmas tree, jingle bells. It don't have nothing to do with no man we born 2,000 years ago. Then if the most holy day in the Christian calendar, all of the things them that surround, the symbols that surround it, has nothing to do with any man we born 2,000 years ago. How is it that we still do it? Because we regurgitate it. And it is like a vomit in our stomach now that has become like a cancer. And we can't get rid of it until we're dead. And who will nip it in the bud? Because you have people right now who is waking up to the reality. You have people right now in the earth that is waking up to this reality, that this thing is a scam. Christmas is a big scam. It's one of the biggest scams ever created by the Western world. One of the biggest scams that has ever been created by the Western world. This thing we call Christmas. Where people go to church and I sing about the Savior come on this holy day. Away in a manger, no crib for a babe. The little Lord Jesus laid down. Is a lie. Is a lie. Non-apologetically, is a lie. But people will continue to do it. You have some people ignorant, and them ignorance, I say, we're gone by the man and can't go good evening. That's what old people say. Old people are tell them fools just we can't go the man, we're gone by the man and can't go good evening. But them have a next saying, you know. Them say every day you carry bucket go well, one day the bucket bottom must drop out. When you think a sweater will go all the while, and a sweater will go all the while, you know. Because you have people going to go wake up. And you see when them wake up to the scam, Western civilization going cripple. Because these things keep white supremacy afloat. These is the things them that make white supremacy have authority over our life. The economical and social order and the religious order. It have a grip away like a vice it grip way. But you see, anytime we start to search for our culture and start to live our culture, you don't have to fire a bullet. Because if we didn't live our culture, for them things that just be obsolete. But because we depend on their lifestyle to keep us afloat, we become slaves. Not slaves with chain round our foot and power hand, but slaves with a brains and a mind that is dirty, that need to be washed. And them know how to wash your brain. Them brain wash we and bleach out the brains. We brainwash till them wash our brains till it don't make no sense again. Our brains is theirs. How did they get us? How did they get us to celebrate a European configuration of their cultural expression? How did they get us to accept it in our reality and live it as if it is our reality? How did they get us to perform works and deeds pertaining to this cultural European expression and actually start to believe that there is something that do have nothing to do with no man we born 2,000 years ago? Them can't tell you, say a man born 2,000 years ago. Them can't tell you when him born, what day him born. Them can't tell you him birthday. And you see you have man we born 2,000 years, 4,000 years ago, where them tell you which day him born. Him birthday. Them can't tell you which day Julius Caesar born. Them can't tell you which. This is a man where the whole world, Western world, recognize as the savior of humanity. And nobody can tell you when him born, what month him born, what date him born, what year him born. Nobody can tell you. Yet you have Romans. You have Roman Caesars. You have Roman philosophers that them can tell you which day, which month, and which part in born. And you have a man in the earth where them say I got save human beings. And 16 years I'm live, missing. 16 years I'm live, missing. Out of the pages of history. Everybody try to speculate where this man did there. Him did there India, him did there Egypt, all sort of things. The most important man to the Western civilization. The most important man to Western civilization. And nobody can tell you when him born, what year him born, what month him born, and what day him born. Yet still them document birthdays, years of people who born thousands of years before that man. But now them sell way. Even African people, especially African people, fall for this lie. This lie that has been perpetuated for hundreds of years. And we say hundreds of years because nobody never celebrated, 1,000 years ago, nobody never celebrated Jesus' birthday. There was no celebration of this man's birthday until Rome picked it up. Rome is the author. Rome is the author of all we do and think and believe in when it comes to our religious practices and perceptions. You have some people want you to believe that even in Ethiopia it don't fall inside it. But even in Ethiopia, the Roman doctrine penetrates the church and has multiplied itself and become a part of that church system also. So when I make no distinction, where I say, Rome created a day for the Western world. And they choose the 25th of December to celebrate this imaginary person. The 25th of December was created to sidetrack you, to make you move from a certain reality, to make you think that if you don't do certain things and behave certain way at this time of the year, you're not in line and in tune. That if your children them don't go partake with other children celebrating this ignorance that has become a bliss, you feel that your children them is losing out on something. Before you start to tell your children them say is a lie. How can you work for 365 days of the year and you work your hard earn money and you buy a gift for your child and you wait till your picnic asleep and put it round a tree, and when the picnic wake you tell him say I want big belly pedophile, obese man, give the youth the gift, perpetuating a lie where you tell your picnic them say, speak the truth and speak it ever, cause it what it will. He who hide the wrong, he does do the wrong thing still. How can you tell your children not to tell lie, and you work 365 days for the year and buy your youth a gift with your hard-earned money, and then tell him says a big belly white man give him the gift? How did they get us to do that? How did they get us to do that? What manner of mind what manner of authority is making intelligent people fall in line with the greatest lie ever told? It's the greatest story. It's a story for true. His story. The greatest lie ever told. Told by European invaders who invade your mind. And then you wonder and you ponder. And you wonder and you ponder. And you lose sight of your reality. Because your mind is enslaved to a system that has continued for hundreds of years. That has not allowed you to think outside of their logics. Because you feel if you think outside of that logics, there's nothing else that you can offer yourself. And whenever we continue to think in the logics of European ideas and thought, we will be confused and misled economically, socially, politically, religiously, sexually, and all the holidays where you can find. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. Yes, a few station, all the station, where we depend, get caught in the whole madness store. But it's economics and what them call it, money. Money drive the thing, you know. Christmas is a money time, so Irish Christmas, Irish FM deal with Irish Christmas. You know, I listen to all of the advertisements, them, not one of them mention anything about Jesus Christ. Not one of them, none of the advertisement them mention nothing about Jesus Christ. You understand? Which it's supposed to be the 25th of December, Jesus Christ's birthday. Them have Irish Christmas, them have Merry Christmas, this are Christmas. Not one of them mention about Jesus Christ. So me I show you what me I say. Say this thing so deep. It's so deep, Rasta. It's deep. It's deep. May I tell you, me say a fast food restaurant advertise and them change the maths to sweet maths or some food maths or some maths to ras. May I tell you? No, may I tell you anyway, you know, my mouth or my word, you know, so, you know, the way them not tell you say. The way them not tell you say. You see this thing here, it's deep, you know. It's deep. Me a drive, come down here a while ago, you know, me a say, look on all the light them and the tree them and people cut down. You go to half a tree, right in front of village plaza there, so in front of the courts. And you see the amount of tree were cut down for sell. Because one have to eat a food, you know. One have to cut down a tree for eat a food, and this time is the time when you can cut down a tree and eat a food. And me I say, how them get to do that, brethren? I mean, really, I mean, it's like, it's deep, man. And then you know the weirdest thing about it? When you talk about it, you hear a man and say, Mosa, me come here, come see Christmas, you know, you can't stop it. No, well, you know, me never tell you me how to stop it, you know. Me just want you look into it and realize, say, you get caught. You get caught, the radio station get caught, the people them in a room get caught, even though them, a whole heap of them not accept it neither. I mean, it's a madness. It's a madness. It's so mad that I can't think about it. Yeah. man, I just so it gone. You think a joke, I just so it gone, you know. Cats and dogs, I just so it gone, man. Believe you me. Wow.
So make haste and don't you slumber. Don't you give yourself no number. Be ready when the rolling thunder. Until you call, you must answer. Don't you fall on no stranger and put your life in a danger. Always give thanks to the Savior and try to perfect your behavior. Walk away from crime, elevate your mind. Be wise in this time. No more gun crime. Elevate your mind. Walk away from crime. Every ghetto youth have to shine. No man are better than no man. Every man should be a humble man. We should have tried picking up the land, eradicating the confusion. Remember, no man is an island, and no man stands alone. Before you come in a dance, they beg you leave the gun at home. Elevate your mind. Walk away from crime. Be wise in this time. No more crime. Elevate your mind. Walk away from crime. Every ghetto youth have to shine. Elevate your mind. Walk away from a crime. Make haste and don't you slumber. And don't you give yourself no number. And be ready when the rolling thunder. Until you call, you must answer. Don't follow back friends, no stranger. Then will put your life in a danger. Always give thanks to the Savior and try to perfect your behavior. Elevate your mind. Walk away from.
Yeah, we see where the Pope bring together Cuba and America to show a certain differences. A 50-year-old difference where America have with Cuba. We see the Pope step in and bring certain, I don't know if I want to call it sanity to the situation, but Pope Francis do something where nobody couldn't do for 50 years.
Walk away from crime.
We are going, I want to go on like say the power of Rome fall, you know. You know, them say the fall of the Roman Empire. Them have a book named The Fall of. As a matter of fact, years ago I did play part of the CD, the audio book on the radio. The Fall of the Roman Empire is a book where only picnic study in a school. How the empire of Rome fall, because Rome was once like America. A lot of people don't know that, but just like how you see America now is a superpower over the world, a watchman over the world. Well, Rome was like that. Before Rome, it was Greece. You have a guy named Alexander the Greek who got into Iran, where them used to call Persia, and him got crossed to the so-called Middle East into Egypt and devastated for years. Where you did have a next man, now you did have after the Greeks, the Romans come. But the Romans is more profoundly involved with how we think and how we use philosophy and how we use ideas in contention with our things. Even the idea of democracy and what democracy, the basis of democracy, it's a Roman configuration. And the ideas of Jesus and most of the stories that surround this man, Jesus, is a Roman configuration. Whole heap of people don't want to accept that truth, but it's a truth. It is a truth where whole heap of people don't want to accept that most of the thinking and the ideas surrounding this man, Jesus, is a Roman configuration. So Rome, even though it is not a power that is visible right now economically, but Rome have one of the biggest organizations in the world that control over 1 billion people. The smallest city in the world is the Vatican City. And the Vatican City lie in a next city that lie in a country. It's amazing that this little city have one of the most powerful empire still existing. Not through no emperor now, but through the popes, through the church. So once it was the emperors of Rome, now it's the Pope of Rome. And the Pope of Rome have more authority over the minds of the people than what the emperors of Rome had. Because while the Pope, the emperor of Rome was more a political thing, the Pope of Rome is what we call a spiritual thing. Is a vicar of Christ. Him is representing Christ on earth. That is what it is saying. The Pope represents Christ on earth for the Roman Catholic Church. So when you see the Pope crisscross the bread and say, eat, this is my flesh. It's Jesus Christ's flesh, he might tell you to eat. And him give the wine and say, drink, this is my blood. It's Jesus' blood he might give you to drink. And according to them, it transforms itself into the flesh and blood of Jesus Christ inside of your body. Intelligent people are saying them things, you know, and a Mutabaruka are saying them things, you know, some intelligent, so-called intelligent people tell you, say, when the Pope or the representatives of the Pope in the church crisscross the bread, the Eucharist as them call it, and the wine, it is not a symbol. It is not a symbol, but it has become a practical reality where you have drunk the blood of Jesus and eaten flesh. What manner of cannibalism is perpetuated by the church? And if we go around the corner, go to St. Thomas, we go work the club here, so we have practiced witchcraft. There's no witches in Africa. No witch no the Africa, no witch no the St. Thomas, nor St. Mary. Because we don't know nothing about no witch. A witch is where them farm in Massachusetts, where the woman them when them feature the woman them a work certain things against the church and them burn the woman them to death and say them a witch, them a practice witchcraft. African people no practice witchcraft. We don't know nothing about no witchcraft. We have a cultural expression that define we. But you see, you can't tell black people these things. Because black people actually prefer to say I don't think nobody hear that still. I don't think nobody hear that. If they far. Well, I big up my little grandson in the studio with me, you know. Believe you me. And the first thing come down with me. Anyway, which probably there? Yeah, we are saying that the reality of it is that if we stick to our cultural expression and cultural rituals, you hear, so we have practiced witchcraft. But when the person, when the preacher hold up him finger and make cross over you and doing all ash when they rub ashes on your forehead and call it ashes to ashes, dust to dust, like him a bury you. When them dip you down in a water, say them a baptize you, and them a get out the evil spirit that I have become a new person. Nobody not think that as Obia. Nobody not say that as nothing. Them say, boy, right now it's Jesus Christ you work with. Jesus Christ you work with, so nothing have nothing to do but we, African people, St. Thomas people, St. Mary people, Portland people, when we go in a certain things, you hear, so we have practiced witchcraft. When a man tell you about drink the blood of Jesus, what am I talking about? And eating flesh. That sounds like something you want to do and make you wash in the blood of the lamb. My God, man. I mean, really. You want to wash in the blood of the lamb? Whether it's a man or a lamb physical. People don't understand how them things they originate, you know. The origination, how it originates. If you didn't know how the thing originates, you know, you would not feel say it is uniquely Christian manifestation. You know, see, the Christian manifestation is really something else. Which part the Christian them get this thing from? Washing the blood of the lamb. Because people actually used to wash in the blood of the lamb. Them used to do it. But now them substitute the lamb now for Jesus. And say them want the blood of Jesus cover them. And some of them now talk about no metaphorical language neither. Just like how the nun them married to Jesus. Did you know that the nuns actually married to Jesus? A woolly woman Jesus have, you know. Thinks that Jesus not easy, you know. You know, but it's supposed to have one man, one woman in a Christianity. Tell the nun them that way in the Roman Catholic Church. They married to Jesus and pass around there, so I catch the man at the altar said we, you know. Remember them did find the whole heap of picnic bone them in a St. George's church. Where them that try to figure out where did I go on in the church, make so much baby skeleton underneath the altar. The nun them, remember the nun them used to ball them head, you know. And wear his long dress, you know, no one underneath the dress, you know. And them used to get pregnant. But them no want nobody know, and them kill the baby them. You think a lie me I tell? Go ask somebody from them time there and them will tell you, say, this is a reality in a Jamaica. When none used to get pregnant. And when them get pregnant, them kill the baby them because them don't want nobody know say that I go on in the church. It's like all the pedophile behavior with the altar boy them and big youth now when them grow big, them start to bust them secrets. But father used to touch me up and feel me up round at the rectory in at the back of the church. Them diffract the youth them. You see the youth them a walk out with the incense. You never know, so them did get touched round at the back of the church. That is what the church is all about. This is the church that people heal up. The Roman Catholics. It's a terrible, terrible place that. Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on RFM. I tell you, man, Christmas is in the year, man. How can you escape it? Muta, you got to talk your damn foolishness. We are going to celebrate Christmas. That means what you want to say. Santa Claus could be a pedophile little boy. I'm going to make my pick the jump in my lap. Sorry, I tell you.
Your black is always like this time we're going to slow down a little bit.
Let me see what divided attention for a moment while she gives you this message.
Distant land, our lives already planned. We came in ships from across the sea. Never again home we'd see. And now we become American crew with African Our master saw we worked from morn till night, never given human rights. Though years pass, things remain the same. Children born with no last name. What is to become of the American crew with African They made us live across the tracks in homes that were wooden shacks. Though every day we did endure, children sick, no doctor to cure. What is to become of the American crew?
Yes, group called the Pharaohs, belting out about our Africanness. What has become of that? This is the voice crying out in the wilderness. I am part of that rebellious minority. Yes. Proud to be part of it too. The rebellious minority. Okay, here we go.
Auction black for me. No more. No.
Action blocks. No more action blocks for me. That is really what we should have said, you know. Because the action blocks, them now is not the action blocks like where our foreparents they stand up on. The action blocks right now is religious manipulation, cultural manipulation, economical manipulation, social manipulation. And when you really check it out, you really wonder, how is it that this thing just continue for year in, year out, year in, year out? So it's like black people get more fool and more stupider, more ignorant and more blissful in them ignorance.
Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life, longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you. You can give them your love, but not your thoughts. They have their own thoughts. They have their own thoughts. You can house their bodies, but not their souls. For their souls dwell in a place of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You can strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life, longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you. You can give them your love, but not your thoughts. They have their own thoughts. They have their own thoughts. You can house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in a place of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You can strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Get up, stand up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Rich man don't tell me that heaven is under the earth. No. I know you don't know what life is really worth. Not all the glitters and gold. All the stories never been told. Now you see the light. Stand up for your rights. Come on, get up, stand up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Some people think great God will come from the sky. Take away everything and make everybody feel high. If you know what life is worth, you will look for your sonship. Now you see the light. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Sick, tired of escape, gotta go to heaven, Jesus' name. You know we understand. Almighty God's the living man. Some people sometimes, but you can't with other people all the time. Now you see the light. You better stand up for your rights. Come on, get up, stand up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. 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 Don't give up. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up. Don't give up the fight. Please don't give up. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up. Don't give up the fight. Please don't give up. Don't give up the fight. Please don't give up. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Yes, right to the last drop. May I tell you, man. So, the holidays that we are given has been given to us by Rome. Easter, Valentine's Day. I mean, when we check the residue of these things that filter down to our grandparents and the grandparents' children, that the grandparents sit down on the veranda wait on this rapture and she dead, and then for her child sit down on the veranda and wait for the rapture and she dead too. Well, we know say the youth them nowadays now sit down on the veranda and wait for no rapture. Because most of them don't really believe in no rapture not there. No rapture not there. Where people up in the sky are blow trumpet like them as some band. It's a weird configuration. I tell you. No, because me, you know, some hear a pastor preach. I went to them hear the pastor preach, and them I say, yeah, this man, him hear the pastor preach, and I say, the devil up in heaven. And God, him I say, God put the devil in charge of the music in heaven. And the devil have all these beautiful jewelry. And him have the musician them, him have a musician them in heaven. A blow. I mean I say, they wait you know. You tell me say trombone and trumpet did make before the earth. Because he must talk about something now where happened before God threw down Lucifer according to his story. God threw down Lucifer upon way down here so. And them say Satan was a good angel according to them, but he might try manipulate up there now, and God say you can't manipulate up here and throw it down there so. But before him did get bad, him did up in heaven a blow trumpet. So you tell me now. I mean, think about it. Think about it really. The angels are blow trumpet. You mean the trumpet it exists in heaven? My gosh, man. I wonder if some of them musicians didn't know say them trumpet it exists in heaven. So the man who say him invent trumpet a lie I tell. Saxophone in heaven. And the weirdest part right now is that war broke out in heaven. War and the archangel Michael fought. War broke out in heaven, you know. I don't understand how people just grab them things that's up. War broke out in heaven. And the angels have trumpet, a blow. Where the angels them get trumpet from? Or which music store them go rob? A terrible thing. slave dreams.
Continent with Mutabaruka. We are listening to all our meds. You know here, continent, the end, the end. Wisdom cry, angel sing. Your dream has come to pass. These days we pray and fast. For the poor we vindicate. He was being assassinated. Dr. Martin Luther King. Your name will ever ring. Dr. Martin Luther King. Wisdom cry while angels sing. A devoted man of God. He used the word just like a rod. Teaches people how to fight. Oh yeah, he was a blazing light. Of all that's said and done, win the war without a gun. Dr. Martin Luther King. Your name will ever ring. Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yeah, Black Liberation Day, the cry is out.
Wisdom cry.
The liberation of a people is designed only by the people who need to be liberated. We can't allow people to liberate. We are designed a formula to liberate we. We have to liberate with self. We have to use our brains and our understanding and our cultural expression that we had before we came here. God, that is the only thing can liberate we. No new thing now going to liberate we right now. We have to use what we knew. When Hannibal go cross the Italian Alps with elephant, where them never know it could have happened. When we celebrate our kingship and queenship, long before Bible, African people had a cultural expression and a divinity that is thousands of years before any book was written on any paper. So we used to write on the walls, on the papyrus, and it was preserved for hundreds and thousands of years. That men come now and read it and twist it round and turn it round and give it back second hand. And the second hand thing now we are taking a whole lamp on.
Dr. Martin Luther King.
You know, I recognize life.
Dr. Martin Luther King.
You know, I recognize life. We don't want to recognize life because we see life different from life. We feel that there is some other thing outside of life that we must give respect to, that demand our respect. We even believe that there's some entity out there that is telling us that we must bow down and worship it continuously. That is ego. That entity that tells us that we have to give praises continuously to that entity is an egotistic entity. That which created the heaven and the earth, that which formed the sun and the moon, that which bring water, heat, and air, could never want human beings. Not his greatest invention, but could have never want human beings to continuously live out them life, praising, and praising. That's a madness. That's an idea created by man. In a corrupt state, him create these ideas to forgive himself.
Wisdom cry and the angels sing, sing, sing.
we know that the greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. The greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed.
Mutabaruka, we are listening to the whole of it. You know here, continent, the end, the end.
It's an institutional radio, the cutting edge of IRFM with Mutabaruka.
Source of enlightenment and upliftment for the youth. Parents, please follow suit.
More than a radio program, it's an institutional radio. The cutting edge of IRFM with Mutabaruka.
Continent with Mutabaruka. We are listening to the whole of it. You know here, continent, the end, the end.
Why are the people starving? Because the rulers eat up the money in taxes. Therefore, the people are starving. Why are the people rebellious? Because the rulers interfere too much. Therefore, they are rebellious. Why do the people think so little of death? Because the rulers demand too much of life. Therefore, the people take death lightly. Having little to live on, one knows better than to value life too much.
IRFM, thought-provoking.
Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on IRFM. You know, within the ideas that surround what we consider to be African retentions in Jamaica and what we see as European ideas that overshadow our African retentions. That when the people them say African retentive elements, them cuss it. And most of the ways, our ways, is African retentive. And whenever we try to behave like them, it's even if you even hear all the language, the words them we call, sometimes when we are trying speaking spooky, we look stupid. That if we talk our own language, somebody could have said, boy, I'm talk body, but guess what? Your clarity is more profound than when you try to speak English, speaking spooky, and then it not come across properly. Sometimes when you listen to all the radio, sometimes you hear some radio announcers in trying to speak properly, not in reading nothing. Because sometimes I read, even myself, when I read something more time, I call the word wrong. But when you talk normally, in trying to speak spooky, you call certain words wrong. And people out there say, yeah, hear that and I laugh. Like, what kind of foolishness that I say? But we tend not to want to talk normal because we say we're on radio or in front of people or whatsoever, and people are going to look down upon you. But at times we stop that. At times we stop believing, say, if we talk normal over the airwaves or anywhere, we're supposed to get looked down upon. The look down upon is when you try speaking spooky and then you call the word them wrong, like Miss Malaprop. For those of you who do English literature and know about this literature named The Rivals, there's a woman in it named Miss Malaprop, where Malapropism come from, where she calls something where it is not. she give the name of something where it is not. It's something name, but true, she try speaking spooky. Everything go wrong for her. The reason why I say that is that a whole heap of things where we do and say, we're supposed to claim it as our own, you know, but because we're so overpowered by European thinking, we shame for claim it. Shame for claim it. When a man here all voodoo, you know. That's why you have parties that sing about aisle this and aisle that, and you're going to throw the aisle and aisle and aisle and aisle. Look here. Aisle a good sit, man. Aisles. Oils. How will you say oils? We in Africa used to use oil. Egyptians use enough oil. And you have oil from plants where is certain aroma of this oil can heal you, have healing qualities, healing properties. That's why when you talk about that, that's why you talk about massage oil, when people are going to massage them, have a certain oil where you massage with. You see, man talk about olive oil. You have frankincense oil. You have all sorts of different oil where it's good for certain things. And you have to go study the plant itself and know that this plant represents certain things. And when you extract the oil from the plant, you can use the oil for certain benefits. You can use the oil for benefits, and we don't know that long time, you know, but we lose it. So when we come here so now and we hear about oil, you hear them put some little thing about oil and this and oil and that and oil and that and oil and that. Trickery business that, you know, that's the trick part of it. But when you really study oils, all coconut oil. Coconut oil is one good oil, you know, it's good for all body and ear and all them things there, you know. People tell people about coconut oil. Rub up yourself with coconut oil, people say, oh, me don't want something like me a cook. I may have fry myself, you understand? But when them talk about for them things, when them put you in a for them state of mind and shock you into it, that you can't come out of it, you lose perspective, man. So when you hear about voodoo from Haiti, you say, no, sir. But when guys sit down there and talk about him raise the spirit, the angelic spirits. We are telling you the Rasta. We are telling you it deep, man. The angelic spirit. People are telling you, I call upon the spirit. In the name of Jesus. I call upon the spirit of Jesus. Forget rid of the devil out of this person and all them something there. Them nothing that funny, that not funny, you know. If a man call upon Jesus and say, I command you to get out of him, this evil devil and this and that. Nobody knows that that's not, you know. But that guy say, I'm going to rub up the isle by you, rub up this island, he gets a certain ailment. He hear say, I'll practice voodoo and obi and something there. And don't know, say, well, oil, if you study the essence of oils, you have oil that heal you have oil that make you get all sick. You have oil where you burn, bring certain aroma into your house, will give you a certain ambience and vibration. You have all sorts of different oils. But when we use the oil now, we have some work, some hobby and voodoo. When them use the oil now, you see them use it to get out the spirit in the name of Jesus. Then all them I tell you say, you never hear say, a woman come with a precious oil. A woman come with a precious oil, you know, and I rub up Jesus, you know. And the disciples, them are complaining and say, oh, shall I take this? Or am I deal with poor people things? And this woman come with this expensive oil, and I rub him up. Him should I tell her, because tell it and give poor people the money. And then just look on them with scan. And then I say, boy, watch you know. Me come here, say you never feed me, you know. Me come here, say you never give me no clothes or nothing for put on. So let the woman make sure rub me up. Rub me up, woman, rub me up. What you mean? Let them go and mix. Oils, very important to satisfy certain feelings and behavior and attitude. Yeah, man, we don't know it already, but we lose it. Because we make them tell we what we do and we not we do.
There's a white man around. I can't do
there, no dark. May I tell you? Cause I and I are the light, you know. Yes, I and I are the light. The bright light, sunlight. That I want the sun in the sky. Cause we're not afraid to tell man about the sun in the sky, you know. Because the first light that bright up earth and anything where they near it. People afraid to talk about the sun because they want to say you must worship the creation. But I not see no creation. I not see no creation. Trust me.
There was love and unity amongst each other. Brothers and sisters always help and care for one another. Before all pirates came, before all pirates came, I and I always tried with the king of creation. There was no need for Babylon ways or their meditation. First university, oh yeah, way up in a Timbuktu. First doctor and engineers, the man them call him a tip. I miss a way up in Egypt. The world first scientists. Their modern improvements are but a duplicate of a grand civilization that I and I reflected thousands of years ago in creation. Before all pirates came, before all pirates came.
Yes, long before Israel was I was before Israel. I was before all of these ideas and concepts and philosophy that all and bind me now to some slavery mentality. I and I was kings and queens, pharaohs, emperor and empresses in the throne room that we build. But we take unto ourselves so much alien ideas and alien images that we forget our kingship and our queenship and our work for the same people them who we also create. I know descend from no African, you know. I hear some people that say them descended from African. I know descend from no African.
There was love and unity amongst each other.
I am African right through and through. All other races descend from I. So I no give credence to no descendant from African that I am a descendant of African. I am an African and all others descended from I.
I and I always tried with the king of creation. There was no need for Babylon ways or their meditation. First university, oh yeah, way up in a Timbuktu. First doctor and engineers, The man them call him a tip. I me say we up in a Egypt. The world first scientist. Their modern improvements are but the duplicate of a grand civilization that I and I reflected thousands of years ago in creation. Before our pirates came, before our pirates came, hey.
Game, the man called Willie Williams coming through, man. See a man who give Armageddon time. Yes. If you have no confidence in yourself, you're twice defeated in the race of life. But with life, come, let us come again. You have to cool. You have to stop. Don't talk. There's no way that don't talk, right? Because you're confused me too. All right. If you have no confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. But with confidence, you have won even before you have started. Marcus Garvey said that.
Sun up to sundown, taking that cotton. Sun up to sundown, whipped by the master. Sun up to sundown, chains and shackles. No more auction block for me. 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 No more auction block for me.
losing? Because the rulers eat up the money in taxes. Therefore, the people are starving. Why are the people rebellious? Because the rulers interfere too much. Therefore, they are rebellious. Why do the people think so little of death? Because the rulers demand too much of life. Therefore, the people take death lightly. Having little to live on, one knows better than to value life too much.
Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge and IRFM there with you. May I tell you, man, you know, it's a little more we can come forward from 2 to 5:45 with the stepping razor, the art of war.
Thought-provoking, always smoking, lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
listening to Mutabaruka.
Yes, the question is, how did they get us to repeat this lie for hundreds of years? How did they get us to repeat this lie and internalize the lie and make it become our reality? We who know better, who should have do better, fall in line. Here are some rats that talk about the 23rd of July. Them say rats must. What kind of madness that? I little as the earth day become rats must. Crazy. called Carmen. You know, it's an opera. Yeah, it's an opera named Carmen. Levi and the higher reasoning bring it into a reggae Rasta vibe. This Carmen opera. One of the things we are called about our reality, where sometimes we can't turn around for them things too. Instead of just grab it, lock, stock and barrel. Sometimes we need to switch around them things and make it become unreal. Instead of just grab it and hold it on and suck it and do all sort of thing with it.
Smoking. Lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
so them take we from Africa, carry us into some ship, pack us like sardine. We stay there in the filth and the urine and the blood. And some of us jump overboard. Better to be lying under the watery grave than to come here and become slaves. We survive. The watery graves, we survive. We survive the bottom of the sea. We survive the bottom of the ship. After so long, we are still here surviving. No matter what they do or say, we will be here forever. We survive the whips and the lashes. We survive the pain and the agony. We survive the sweat and the tears and the anger. We survive. And we will survive forever.
Listening to Mutabaruka.
Come back.
This arises from a situation where instead of teachers or school teaching, they're on the streets demonstrating, and that's arresting.
So much war and famine on the land. Let me tell you, it's a serious thing. Yet we are making more war plans. Let me tell you, it's a serious thing. There is no attention on the youth nowadays. Let me tell you, it's a serious thing. No future plans or opportunities. Let me tell you, it's a serious thing.
The devastating memory of Hiroshima has not quenched the blood and thirst of Satan, and that's a very serious thing. His future plans are to devour the children as he keeps some friend and to create instead the dawn of the dead.
In town and country, it's the same old cry. Let me tell you, it's a serious thing. Brothers and sisters, I'm a telling no lie. Let me tell you, it's a serious thing. Sometimes you wonder if you're wrong or right. Let me tell you, it's a serious thing. If you've got to stand up and fight, let me tell you, it's a serious thing.
The struggle for the black man's liberty against the vicious apartheid system of South Africa is a very serious thing. And if the weapon of resistance is in the hand of the oppressor against the oppressors, then that also is a very serious thing.
Can't be more killed, can't be more raped. Now let me tell you, it's a serious thing. Food is essential, but I ain't got a cent. Let me tell you, it's a serious thing. So much people begging in the streets. Let me tell you, it's a serious thing. Some are big enough to have a bite to eat. Let me tell you, it's a serious thing.
If in the nick of time you come home to find the landlord's bailiff relieving of all your possessions, that could be a serious thing. For your table or for your chair, you could find a spare, but to take your better way is a very serious thing. To go to your brother to ask for a loan, only to realize that he was heading for your home is a very serious thing. And to be in a position where your daily bread comes only from the garbage is a very serious thing.
Tom, Dick, and Harry, they are complaining. Oh yeah, they are saying it's a serious thing. About the condition they are living in. Oh yeah, they are saying it's a serious thing. So much in the prison, living in one cell. Let me tell you, it's a serious thing. Much more joining in that smell. Let me tell you, it's a serious thing.
To be confined to the cells like a cesspool bears a smell is a very, very serious thing. To be stripped of all your rights, sanity, dignity, and liberty is a very, very serious thing.
More than a radio program, it's an institution on radio. The Cutting Edge on IRI FM with Mutabaruka.
This could be your utmost change. This could be your utmost
Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on IRFM. They are with you. I got through. Where are they? Okay, that's all.
That is
Out at the Virgin Island. Well, you know, all the sisters them in the Virgin Island who are listening to it, and now you have some daughters when they left the program. Well, you know, the sisters them in Paris too, who not left the program for years, them not left this program, yeah.
With Mutabaruka, we are listening to the whole of it. You know here, continent, the end, the end. You can't blame the youth. You can't fool the youth. You can't blame the youth of today. You can't fool the youth.
You are listening to Mutabaruka.
You can't blame the youth. You can't fool the youth. You can't blame the youth of today. You can't fool the youth. You're teaching youths to learn and speak that cow jump over moon. You're teaching youths to learn and speak that the fish run away with spoon. So you can't blame the youth when they don't learn. You can't fool the youth. You can't blame the youth of today. You can't fool the youth. You teach the youth about Christopher Columbus, and you said he was a very great man. You teach the youth youth about Marco Polo, and you said he was a very great man. You teach the youth about the pirate Hawkins, and you said he was a very great man. You teach the youth about the pirate Morgan, and you said he was a very great man. So you can't blame the youth of today. You can't fool the youth. You can't blame the youth. You can't fool the youth. All these great men were doing robbing, raping, kidnapping, and killing. So-called great men were doing robbing, raping, kidnapping. So you can't blame the youth. You can't fool the youth. You can't blame the youth. None at all. You can't fool the youth. When every Christmas comes, you buy the youth a pretty toy gun. When every Christmas comes, you buy the youth a fancy toy gun. So you can't blame the youth. You can't fool the youth. You can't blame the youth. You can't fool the youth. 'Cause what was hidden from the wise and the prudent is now revealed to the babes and the succulents. What was hidden from the wise and the prudent now revealed to the babes and the succulents. The Lord called upon the youth, though they were strong. Judge a call upon the youth, 'cause he know the youth is strong. So you can't blame the youth. You can't fool the youth. You can't blame the youth. Blame the children. You can't fool the youth.
Provoking, always smoking, lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
I say, I and I reconsider. I and I see up only that Christopher Columbus is a damn blasted liar. Christopher Columbus is a damn blasted liar. Oh yes, child. Oh, he's a liar. Yes, child. Well, he is saying that he's the first one to discover Jamaica. I and I say that. What about the Arawak Indians and you black men who were down here before him? The Indians couldn't hang on no longer. Here comes black men and women and children out in a jam down land, yeah. Whole heap of mix up. A whole heap of fed up, we have been straightened out. Christopher Columbus is a damn blasted liar. Christopher Columbus is a damn blasted liar. Oh yes, child. Oh, he's a liar, yes, child. Oh, he's a liar, yes, child. Oh, he's a liar, yes, child. I and I longing to go home. What a long way from home. Within a red, green, and gold robe. Well, come on, 12 tribe of Israel. Come on, 12 tribe of Israel. Out the damn down land, yeah. Oh, keep up, mix up. Keep up, fed up, we have been straightened out. Columbus is a damn blasted liar. Christopher Columbus is a damn blasted liar. Oh yes, child. He's a liar, yes, child. A liar.
Thought-provoking, always smoking, lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka.
I want you so bad. I just gotta have you. You'll never find, as long as you live, someone who loves you tender like I do. You'll never find, no matter where you search, someone who cares about you the way I do. Oh, I'm not bragging on myself, baby, but I'm the one who loves you, and there's no one else, no one else. You'll never find, it will take the end of all time, someone who understands you like I do. You'll never find the rhythm, the rhyme, all the magic we share, just us two. Oh, I'm not trying to make you stay, baby, but I know somehow, someday, somewhere you are, you're gonna need my love when it's cold outside. You're gonna miss my love.
You are listening to Mutabaruka.
No matter where you search, someone who cares about you like I do. You'll never find, till the end of all time, someone who cares about you tender like I do.
Yeah, the man called Brento coming through with our Lura's original tune. Yeah, man. Serious version.
You're gonna miss my loving. You're gonna miss my love. When it's cold outside, you're gonna miss my love. Oh, 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 oh. In the midnight hour, baby, when it's cold outside,
beautiful music in the night, yeah, man. Robbie Lynn. Please, sunrise, please. I think this was done originally by Young World Unlimited. Yes, Young World Unlimited. Please, sunrise, please. Barbara Acklin to the vocals to this tune. Yeah, man. Two in a row for the man called Robbie Lynn. This is the cutting edge going right through till 2. Yeah. We say give thanks to the moment, give thanks to the time and the energy. So you know, so we come forward from 2 to 5:45. Matrix in the house. Yes. Me some little grandson this, you know.
For real?
Yeah, man.
You think I'm your son?
You think I'm a son? No, sir, I'm a son. I mean,
Son.
yeah, I'm a grandson, man.
Bless up, sir.
You saw him know about the computer there? Him a find things for the computer where Brian never find. Him a find things for the computer where Brian never find, you know. How much you will eat again? How much you will eat? How much you will eat? How much you will eat?
9.
You're 9. Hey, him a find things for the computer where Brian couldn't find, you know, I should have had the only parliament, man. Trust me. Sir. Yes. Dakarai. Tell me your name, man.
Blackarai.
No, Dakarai, man. Where is Blackarai? What is Blackarai? You hear the man saying about Blackarai, man. Dakarai himself, man. Dakarai. With an I at the end. Right. Yes. African name. All right. So, I will say give thanks to the moment, give thanks to the time, give thanks to the energy. We are come out and we are go through with this song.
Great people doing extraordinary things. Irie FM. I can hear you. Irie FM.